What's up guys, today I'm going to be making my favorite food, which also so happens to be America's favorite condiment since 2000. If I haven't guessed it already, I'm going to be making salsa, and I'm here today to demonstrate how easy and simple it is to actually make salsa. So some background information, like I said, salsa is very simple to make. There's only a few steps to it, and I'll be showing you guys later. And there's many different kinds of salsa. You can find them in really any local grocery store like Walmart or Target. But my favorite kind has always been the homemade salsa that I'll be making for you guys today. And salsa has origins in South America and Central America with the Aztecs and the Incas, just because the tomato is indigenous to that part of the world. So let's move on to some of the ingredients you'll need to actually make salsa. You've got your tomato. We use fresh tomatoes, but it's always cheap and easy to get your canned tomatoes at the store. We're using our cilantro. We've got serrano peppers, and when we make our spicier kind, we normally get the habanero or jalapeno peppers. We've got our onions. We've got garlic, some lemon and lime juice to make it a little sweet, and some salt and pepper. And some utensils you'll need are a cutting board and a knife to chop up all your ingredients. And you'll eventually use a blender. And you don't have to use all these ingredients like a blender, because if you're making pico de gallo or something like that, all you really need is a knife just to chop up all the ingredients into fine, kind of small chunks. And you can also add different ingredients depending on what you want. If you want a sweeter salsa, you can use peaches or pineapple. You can also add black beans. It's really up to you. But now let's move on to how to actually make the salsa. So the first step for making your salsa is you're going to wash off all your ingredients, which I've already done for you guys. We just want to wash it off just to make sure everything's clean and ready to be eaten. So next you're going to chop up all your ingredients. I like to start with the onion into pretty big pieces, about a quarter size. But it doesn't really have to be super small because everything's going in the blender, and the blender's going to do the big job, which is chopping up all the things into tiny pieces. And a big part of making salsa is safety, because you're going to be using the knife. So always make sure that your finger's out of the way, just so you don't end up slicing your finger or anything like that. That'd be pretty bad. So next, you're just going to want to dump all the pieces into the blender. So next, you're going to slice up your tomatoes. Like I said, in pretty big pieces, about quarter-size pieces. And you're going to want about 2 tomatoes. That's what we do for our salsa. And once you're done slicing up all your tomatoes, I've only done a little bit for you right now. Like I said earlier, you're just going to dump everything into the blender. After chopping up the tomatoes, you're going to want to chop up your cilantro. You're only going to really want to get the leafy parts, because these hard stems are difficult to blend up in the blender. So after you get most of these little leaves off the stalks, you're going to put everything into the blender. Next, you're going to add your peppers. We are using the serrano peppers, but like I said earlier, you can use habanero, jalapeno, whatever. And if you don't like hot salsa, you can remove the seeds from the pepper, because the seeds are always the hottest part. And we'll also add a little bit of garlic for flavor. So the last step, once everything's in the blender, is to obviously blend it. So you're gonna put your lid on. You wanna have your hand on top of it so you don't make a mess, nothing comes out. So you wanna hit the stir button right here for about We'll do it for about 10 seconds, and then I'm gonna get the spoon and I'm gonna like churn everything up because normally there will be chunks on the bottom. So. Okay, so that was about 10 seconds. You're gonna get the spoon all the way to the bottom to get all the chunks up that were down there. And then go for another 10 seconds. And once that's done, you've got your salsa. And one helpful tip that I've learned over the years is when you make your salsa, put it in a Tupperware container and put it in the fridge, or the refrigerator for about a night, and it actually flavors up a little bit more. But as you can now see, salsa is a quick, easy, and healthy supplement to any meal, and it's extremely easy to make. So that's all the time I've got today. Thank you. And remember, a los jugadores de béisbol no les gusta la salsa.